everyone. My name is Beth, and welcome to the Seth and Beth podcast. Do I look at the camera?
Who are you looking at? There's no one over there. Ta-da!
My name is Seth.
My name is also Seth, which makes the title of our company incredibly strange. I don't know why we named it Seth and Beth when we're both named Seth.
Seth and Seth.
We're supposed to have, we had a boy twice in this world. You gave birth to a beautiful son, and we wanted to name them Seth almost both times.
I did. I really wanted that.
Now, I don't like my name that much.
I do. Even if I wasn't married to you, I would want a boy named Seth.
And so I'm sure we've said this before, but we didn't go with Seth twice.
Right. Because, I had you convinced we were going to have a baby named Seth. That's was baby number 2. And I was just weeks from having a baby, and somebody yelled upstairs, "Hey, Beth." And I went, "Did you mean Seth or Beth?" And then I was like, "Oh, Lordy, we can't have another Seth. I don't even know if they're who they're talking to."
Who they're talking to?
Hey, will you push one of those buttons? I want to see what you have for us.
These sound effects?
Yeah.
Well, this is for another podcast, but I have one for a real estate podcast.
Okay.
Deal of the week. Deal of the week.
That's for real estate.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Little John, just to agree with you. Clapping to agree with you.
I like that.
Oh, I'm sorry, babe.
I don't want you to do that to me.
They didn't hire us. Oh, that's the joke.
Here, look at that.
Oh, look at this.
that.
Yes.
I love that bit.
This is when I crack a joke at parties. The response. So I need to get
Will you
new.
push those throughout? Those are funny to me. I like that.
Yeah, I wish I had more. I only have 8, and half the time during the podcast I can't keep them straight. But welcome to the Seth and Beth podcast.
I'm the host.
Go, Beth.
Okay, so I've prepared some things that for us to talk about.
She's prepared a statement. This is official.
A statement.
You have yes.
I have things written everywhere. I don't even know. I've never done this before, but I wrote some stuff down, and you don't know what they are.
Oh my gosh.
And so we have so much we can talk about.
Go.
Okay. What are you in the mood for? I have many different topics. So let's
Sex.
Okay. I didn't. Well,
Is that where that goes? Is that where these go? Listen, you said you wanted sound effects. I have to set them up. I can't just
I cannot
play them out of thin air.
Said that. Okay, but one of the things I did write down. Now we have we've.
I'm sweating.
Talked
this is nervous,
about-
nerve wracking. Go ahead.
We have done a couple of these now, and I just didn't feel like we were acting like ourselves.
Well, we don't have to admit that in that way, but we are hilarious.
Which I'm sure people have noticed if they watched the earlier ones. Probably and they hung around. They're like, "Oh, he didn't say that before. Beth wasn't acting that." So we decided we're gonna loosen. We're just gonna loosen up and just act like ourselves. And
Well,
that's it.
you're absolutely right. There is a sense of showmanship because we're on a show, so we can't just sit here and talk about what bothers us and our taxes are due. But
Our taxes are actually
are due.
overdue.
We file an extension every year, and it just delays the inevitable
I know.
a little bit longer.
I know. I
But
hope
we'll
you're
get to
better
it.
at it. Well, we're gonna do
committed.
it. One of the things I wrote down was what we're doing to stay more organized and stay on, and so different programs that we're using now.
A riveting topic, I'm certain, to most of our listeners.
Well, some people need help with that too.
Well, that's true. We've
honey.
needed help for a while, but keep going. What's next? Keep going. We'll circle
wanna
back around to
Do you
that
like
exciting.
any of these topics that I've? You don't like any of these?
We'll circle back around to taxes and organizing our life. Just
like-
people
it's so
love
great.
this.
It's so great.
Like, comment, and subscribe below. Oh my gosh, you'll get more of this all day long.
Okay. Some other things are I don't know about you. I feel like you're a very confident person. So
Go on.
and I feel like I'm confident, but I'm always trying to build my confidence more and more.
How do you do that?
So, you go to this awesome photography retreat every year out in California, and your friends, they're our friends, but you guys always do this thing where you talk about your favorite books that you've read that year, and then
That's
you're
true.
really good at just buying them right away. So then they're in our Audible, ready for us whenever we have some extra time. We just read these Audible books. So this one book that I know you read like just a little bit of it, but I've already read it twice because it like was so good for me.
Tell me it's a Kama Sutra.
Is that
you called for these?
That's not yoga. That's like sex.
Go. The crickets are still going.
A little now. I'm okay. No, it was completely different. It was called Psychocybernetics. I had to write that down because I call it something different. Say. I know, right? I just
a friend of ours in California. Oh, she just moved. A fantastic photographer and photographer life coach named Megan Keithan, who was recently on the West Side, is now moved to Tennessee, and she's incredible. And she turned me on to this book.
So no, I really like this. So the book isn't like
Psychocybernetics. I don't remember the author, but
I don't remember him either. Okay, so the book wasn't even written like now. I think it was written in like the 50s or 60s.
Maybe even the 30s, yeah.
I'm a long time ago. But they put it out and everyone loved it. And then there was this guy that read it and then it changed his life. Like he was like an Olympic wrestler, but he never could get out of his mind that he was a failure because he maybe lost the national college championship or something like that. And so even though he had all these great wrestling successes, he always felt like a failure. He read this book and it's like taught him that even though that he failed at that, he's not a failure. And then it changed his whole life. And he started like teaching classes about this book and he's a new guy.
Paul and I, who are on another podcast, the Learn From Us Real Estate Investing Academy podcast, that's a lot of words. It's a Learn From Us podcast. Paul and I talk about this all the time. And
he read the book?
Well, yeah. No, but it's essentially the idea of shifting your mindset away from what we've been taught our whole lives. It's shifting a mindset away from an idea that I'm not good enough. Right. We joke around like, what is that Stuart Smalley stare in the mirror on SNL and damn it, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and people like me.
When he had Michael Jordan on, that was so funny.
That was like from like 1989 or something.
Still funny.
But anywho.
Maybe Shaq was on too.
But anywho, the idea of the book, which I was trying to do in the car yesterday, is tell you that if you're not good at something, you have to start telling yourself you are. It's not like I'm building.
I know that. I just didn't like the way you were telling
So
me.
The premise of the book is
insensitive.
You say like it's sort of an overachievement mentality that I'm so good at this that you start tricking your mind into actually performing the tasks that it takes to be good at things.
So I think what's gotten me hung up over time, and I think maybe I've even talked to you about this before, like Seth and I have these car rides together.
7 hours yesterday.
So, and then like it just opens us up to talk about things. And so what gets me is it's like this feeling that I've disappointed somebody. So like whether I disappointed my friends.
Oh, wrong one. I went with this one. But I meant that one. I'm sorry.
Like maybe,
who are you disappointing in this world?
Oh, maybe I've just disappointed or I've let people down, and I can't get over it. Like one time, my aunt asked me if I wanted my cousin's washing machine. That's stupid. I know. But these are things that
Go on. You had me at washing machine.
I don't know. I don't think I got back to her properly. And I feel like she's always been upset with me. She probably hasn't. But because it's like stupid little things like that where I'm like, is my aunt is like the nicest person of all time. She's like the cutest, most happy, bubbly, wonderful person. But in my mind, I feel like I've always kind of disappointed her that I didn't get back to her. It's like little things like that. So reading that book, it's like every single chapter, it has taught me how to get over stupid things like that. How to get over that. And you know what else, Seth? It's like
Go ahead,
there was this other chapter that was so good to me that I just I get things stuck in my mind when I go to bed and it affects me all night long. And it can be like not even real things that happened. My mind makes up like occurrences that haven't even happened, and I can't get it out of my head. I have like conversations that of future topics, maybe they're future arguments that they haven't even happened.
This is messed up.
Does this happen to you?
Well, that's our show for today.
Beth has issues.
We're going to be checking Beth into the Looney Tune. No, I think everyone thinks
You do
that
that
way.
too?
I mean, not so much future stuff, but I do get hung up with past stuff for a long, long time. Things that happened in the third grade. I told you that I had lingering things that I thought I did to people, and I probably reached out to someone on Facebook 15 years later and was just like, listen, I'm really sorry the way I acted literally in 7th grade.
Do you think they remembered what you did?
Maybe, maybe not.
Will you share with me whatever happened? I mean,
Well, I'd rather not, but
the person's probably not going to listen.
I'd rather not. But the point is, that and you and I have struggled with this in the past as well. I'm not a big I'm sorry person.
I know.
And you love I'm sorries.
I love giving I'm sorries. I love
Accepting I'm sorries. And then for me, so I guess I'm a little more
struggle with.
I'm a little more analytical in life. Is I'd rather not have the event happen so I don't have to say I'm sorry for it. While at the same time,
honey, this just happened to us like 3 days ago.
At the same time, I don't like when someone will just do something that they've always done and then say they're sorry about it a second later, meanwhile hurting that person and then hoping to just as the sorry is gonna.
Listen, I never mean to hurt you.
The sorry, I'm not talking about you.
Sometimes I get hangry and frustrated, and I just don't control myself the way I should.
And then so that hurts, and it can really hurt a whole evening. And then
I'm gonna tell the listeners what we're talking about, so this makes sense. Okay. So, like, it's little things like this. So, Seth and I had a wedding in Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville. So, we drive all the way there, and maybe there was a little miscommunication about when we were supposed to arrive and then how we were going to be entering right into the rehearsal.
This is the day before, everyone. We're not talking about on a wedding day. This is the day
it's
before.
Friday.
We're going to rehearsal just as friends. Like, they don't even need us there.
We're just like going to meet people and
keep going.
Okay. So we like pull into the parking deck and I'm like, wait, we're here? And then we get a text like that,
we're starting,
which is fine. We're not photographing anything. And so I was like, wait, like this is it? We're here? And I'm in like pajamas and actual slippers. And I was like, well, I have to get dressed now. And we're in this parking deck. Okay. So I'm getting kind of like upset that there was a little poor communication.
And I can see it building.
All right.
It starts building with like
maybe
muttering
I'm,
under
like,
your breath.
Trying to get a hanger out of the garment bag.
Falling and slamming and it's just building and building.
And I'm like, will you just help me with this?
But on the point let me give my aspect, what you didn't know is I'm telling you in the past couple of years where I have learned these building moments, I was going to say the words that the next 10 minutes can be the best 10 minutes of our life, or it can be bad, and you have to make a choice. Now, I make bad choices all the time.
Yes.
But I was ready. I knew what choice was coming for you.
Yes. So
you decided
I got upset.
The blaming, blaming me for this.
So I'm
miscommunicate. Keep going.
Okay. So anyway, we holler at each other a little bit, but we're about to like enter and have to be happy, right? Like, oh my gosh, we're Seth and Beth, and we're so happy and in love. But really, he probably wants to claw my face off, and I want to stab his eyes with pens. So we're like, I can shake that off, right?
You can look at this. You can stare deeply into this camera right here.
I can like shake that argument off pretty fast, right? Like, I'm like, okay. We're gonna just go in here and it's gonna be fine. Like, I still love him and I love him so much it's not even funny. And so like I get dressed and I just like immediately go in for a hug, and he was like, go ahead, tell him.
I wasn't having it at the moment.
He probably said a bad word.
Because I knew at the time like I just said, I knew that the building was going to lead to a choice, and then the choice you took at that moment was to make the situation even worse than it was. And so
like,
this is a learning point.
Right.
Where
anyway,
but we can be better 5 minutes later.
Yeah,
anyway,
I mean, it was like 15 minutes later, and we were better. But where are we going with all this?
Nowhere is where. Welcome to the Drag Us Down podcast with Seth and Beth. This is a photography podcast,
I
Beth.
know. Okay, so
But it's also about relationships.
I know, and you know what? Sometimes it's not easy to be married and work together.
I mean, so we've been married 16 years in December, dating since early first quarter of 99 or second quarter of 99. We went to prom together. And so it's been a good 20-year run here for us. And so we are learning about things about each other every day, which is crazy because I now see people who've been married 2 years and they still have that go get 'em. Yep, we got it married. And they're like, man, they're still like, I'm like, man, you got a long way to go. Like, life's a long road, and you got a lot to learn.
But at these weddings, and you meet somebody that's married for 57 years, what is that going to be like?
Mm-hmm.
If we're 20 years, what's going to be like in 37 more years? Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. Yeah, we just met a couple walking out of the last wedding on Saturday, and they've been married for 60-something years or 67 years. I mean, it was ridiculous.
All right, so Psychocybernetics, I like that.
Psychocybernetics is a great book.
The other one that we like right now is Crushing It.
Crushing It by Gary Vee.
I love that. We're reading that one, doing that together.
I've been a huge Gary Vee fan for a while, and he's a real go-getter. He's very pick yourself up by the bootstraps and go get to work. People ask him, give me a 1-sentence tip on life, and he always says, "You are going to die. Get going."
Yikes. I never heard him say that.
Yeah, that's his main thing is you're gonna die. Go. Go now. And so as fun as it is to talk about that, the self-help and the get-go mentality, and
so you have that more than I do. I'm not saying that but I'm the first one to tell him to let's stop working and let's sit down and spend some time together, or stop working. But it was up to you. The second you wake up to the second you go to bed, you're totally fine working every second of the day, pausing to eat and
be a dad for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Now,
how's that? Have you always been that way?
No, unfortunately, I'm critically trying not to do that anymore as much. Because as you know, as I just mentioned before, one of our dear friends, Paul Gabriel, who's he's into real estate here up in the Akron area. We have another podcast together, and he's taught me a lot of things about this world. Really, people love telling other people that they're busy. Well, hey, I haven't seen you in 6 months. What are you up to? Oh God, I'm so busy. And you and I think, have tried to take an effort to not lead with that first sentence. Oh, we're so busy. Yeah, we got it. Everybody's busy.
Everyone's busy.
One of our dear friends they have 3 kids, and they're temporarily fostering 2 more 1-year-olds. It's there's zero comparison between twins. So there's zero comparison to our busy and they're busy.
He's a football coach. He's gone all day, and she has 5 children.
So I used to do this.
That's
I used
busy.
to say, whoa, what do you? Well, I'm working 80 hours a week, and my buddy Paul will straight up tell people, because he'll just say it. He's just well, you must be horrifically inefficient. If you're working 80 hours a week, you must not be getting your work done. Now, this is a guy that owns 16 businesses, and he puts people in place to run these businesses. He's literally bored 3 days out of the week. He plays chess all day. Anyway, he's a great friend of mine, and some of our listeners probably know him. We've talked about him so much. He's been a big aspect in our lives, a big important aspect in our lives. But so I'm trying to back off that. But so we're trying to spend more time with the kids, less time working, and be efficiently more working. And so, I wish there were more people who weren't on the busy train and sort of could relate with the idea I have a lot of work to do. I try to do it efficiently. But anyway, where am I going with that, Beth? I don't know.
Moving on. Crushing It.
Crushing It. It's a great book.
Great book. It has me like, I listen, right? Because I'm into the Audible, right? So I listen to like maybe, I'm not even kidding. I'll listen to 4 minutes of it and then I just like stop. And
You said this yesterday.
I'm
yeah.
like, the book somehow gets me going to do something.
Well, that's the point of it, right? Like surrounding yourself with that positive vibe and notion. Like,
yeah, like it
you,
does
you have
it
these
for
friends
me.
on Facebook, probably even my mother don't, but like all they love sharing is just negative crap. It's like their feed is just filled with this person's kicking a
But
dog.
I
The
feel
dolphins
like
are dying.
Sometimes I have a hard time
What?
sharing. I share, like I get caught where I'm one of these people that share like everything fun we do, and I sometimes don't share like.
Don't you get happy when you see other people having fun?
Yeah, but like I like seeing like.
Unless it's annoyingly
Is
fun
it
where they're
bad
just
to
like,
listen, what I'm about to say does sound bad, but
What?
I like it sometimes when people are real and they show their kid like crying or in timeout or something like that. Like this is real life too, and life isn't always like jelly beans and rainbows and sprinkles, and I get caught up with like, oh look how fun everything is,
There's a huge photographer that we were fans of down in the South. Maybe I won't name names, but it's public. He was very, very famous, and he built a following of over 100,000 people. And he was like, it consumed his day of like being on the internet and feeding those fans content. And then it all came like not so much crashing down, but I guess he's then struggled from depression because he realized he had no real friends at all. And he kind of went underground for a couple years and recently sort of reemerged with like this new spirit of like, so I get that,
Yeah.
but I am happy when other people are happy. And you and I are ridiculously happy at the moment with our kids.
Well,
and
we're coming off kind of a rough patch though, like not like in our marriage. Well, I mean, I guess we did have some big quarrels in our marriage.
well,
but
we're moving houses. So we're
Oh, my
selling a
gosh.
house, moving a house. And
yeah, we're really
May has been really bad for us in the past.
yeah.
I told you our buddy Ryan calls it Maycember. It's just trying to get everything wrapped up by the end of May. Kids get out. Vacations are getting planned. You got to start going on vacation that first week
We're
in
on
June.
the up, but like I mean, we haven't been that low on a really like.
Yeah, so I want you to just go to Mexico on the last 2 weeks of next May, and I'll just handle the kids for 2 weeks. Just take the girls and go. We'll talk to Paul about it. Visit luxuryzlo.com if you want a trip to
I
Mexico.
think he's serious.
Beth's giving away a trip, everybody. Oh my gosh.
wanna go?
Wow, Beth, I can't. Oh no, that was a little John.
You want to go to Mexico?
Yeah,
with
see,
me?
I was trying to give.
Tell me. That said that we can go, girls, no boys, girls only. Oh wow,
Talk to Paul.
that'd be fun.
Just skip the last week in last week in May.
How are we? How long have we been talking?
We're great.
I have more topics.
Well,
Do you want to talk about anything else?
riveting lead in, Beth.
How am I doing? Like, do you like what?
I do like these topics. I mean, psychocybernetics really changed the way we think.
You know what, Seth? Like, anytime that I like start, I don't know, my mind
Worrying?
just
Yeah.
like I feel like these like bad thoughts, not like bad thoughts, but like that I'm letting somebody down,
Sure.
or I'm worrying about something, or like you know what I notice if I'm having trouble sleeping, that's usually how I know like I've got these thoughts on my mind. I go back and I've like an Audible, you can like leave little like bookmarkers.
bookmarks.
Yep, and or like there's like specific chapters. I just reread those chapters, and they like have some like not mantras but exercises
Yeah.
that you can do that like helps you. And it helps. I'm not even kidding. Crushing it helps me get motivated, and this
Yes.
psychocybernetics helps my psychoness.
Wow. That's great, Beth. That's great to hear.
Now, the third book,
Go ahead.
okay, I stopped reading it because I wanted to start reading Crushing It with you so we could like talk about it and read it together.
Go ahead.
But you read the whole thing, and you quote it all the time. It's the ultimate sales machine.
Oh, the ultimate sales machine.
So tell me about
Yeah.
what it is that you're always quoting it.
Yeah,
You've gotten so much
so-
from that one book.
The ultimate sales machine was about a guy that built this big business and then started training other businesses on how to sell. For photographers, this is a very scary word. Sell. I don't want to sell anything. They're very against selling. And I think we were that way for a while. We then found out that if we talk to our clients, figure out what's important to them in the world, let them know that if you get digital images, you're not going to print them. So we'll print them for you. We made it a part of all of our package, so all of our clients get books. We started finding that we don't have to sell anything. Our clients come in and we just help them buy together. And I always related this back to, I've said this before in other podcasts, but I always related back. I was just at Best Buy. If you walk into Best Buy and you don't want to, maybe you're just going through the mall, I don't even know, you walk in, you don't want a TV. When someone comes and bothers you, it's a bother. Stop being a salesperson. When I want a TV, I'm standing around. If it's 10 seconds and someone doesn't come up to me, I'm like, damn it, where are these salespeople? I'm ready to throw out money. Let's go. And so the sales machine started just teaching me like ideas about how to talk to people, how to educate clients, let them know that, like, I just love this phrase, 100 years from today, someone is going to be really, really happy to have a photo of you.
Yeah.
Especially if someone dies early.
Like that Airbnb we stayed in just over the weekend, and the guy had this beautiful photo of his parents on his wall.
Oh, yeah, from like the
wedding
40s
day.
or 50s.
Yeah.
It's like, so our wedding
He doesn't
clients
have many photos on the wall, but he had that one.
you know, as a wedding, when the weddings of today, they're so built up on what type of silverware and beading on a dress, double Windsor versus bow tie, and it's like, we're here to educate you that someone is going to want your photo very, very badly. They're not born yet. They're not even a figment of anyone's imagination, but there's going to be a 16-year-old girl who wants to know her family heritage, and she's going to have an album when you hire us.
That's like romantic, honey.
Well, what if your grandson's kid falls in love with family heritage and just like has a family heritage wall? You and I love that movie Coco so much. I think it's the greatest Disney movie ever made.
More than Ratatouille.
Well, that's just a fun movie, but like a tearjerker is, the idea. If you haven't seen it yet, there's something wrong with you. Paul has not seen it yet, but
Why is it?
there's something wrong with you. But anyway, the idea is that like you have to take photos of people and you put them like in maybe a Mexican tradition is you sort of put them in like a little shrine to the people that have been lost. And if someone doesn't have a photo of you, they've forgotten you. And so, man, it's just so important.
That after saying that, like I'm a photo person, right? Hello.
We have so many photos at the house, wall art wise. We've run out of walls, so we have to either build an extension.
But after seeing that,
go on.
I know it's not real. You know that if I don't have a photo up of somebody that is important to me, and they've passed away, that they can't come back to see us. I know that's not real, but like part of me is like, what happens if it is real? And if it is real, I better put some more photos up. So like, maybe you don't even know this, but like sometimes like I'm like, I don't, just some photos, like I'm like, this photo is important to me. I'm going to put this one up.
Yeah. I mean, so that's what the sales machine has sort of taught us is but the idea of selling is you can educate a client as to how important something is and then tell them, oh, by the way, we can help you with that. And, we have tons of videos all over our Instagram, on our website, promo videos of the zillions of clients who have sat down, opened their wedding album for the first time. When it's all said and done, the last thing you get from us is a wedding album, and their eyes just burst brightness. They squeal. They walk out of our studio with something to really covet and hold on to for a long time.
Isn't that so great? That's such a great feeling.
I mean, looking back to what we used to do, I apologize today as of the day of our Lord, July, whatever day it is, like the fact that we used to just like text you your gallery of photos.
Oh, no.
Like, I'm not even playing it cool. Like, folks, if you are in a wedding, if you or your friends or your siblings are in the game of trying to find a wedding photographer, and that photographer will just hand you your disc of images, and they do not have your best interest in mind. I'm sorry.
It's like their future family's interest.
Absolutely. They want to take your money, shoot your wedding, and get away from you as fast as possible. Or they just haven't learned the skills. They just haven't taken the time to learn the skills to get you the album you deserve. But again, We're photographers. Look at me on my high horse. We're photographers, and at the end of the day, you should get photos because that's what can be cherished in this world. I challenge you to cherish anything digitally. Open up your phone, go to your photos, count how many they are, and try and find one. God forbid, try and find one. We might go back every once in a while to find them, but we got to start printing, and that's what we do. So this isn't a huge commercial, but God, this hit us, the idea of selling and
Ultimate Sales Machine. You like that?
Great book.
I'll read it when I'm done with crushing it. I'm super into crushing it right
this
now.
was a book review brought to you by Seth and Beth. Thanks for joining me, babe. You look stunning as always. Stunning.
Thanks, honey.
We'll be,
You have any good jokes before we leave?
well, I do. Our 5-year-old loves this one. You know it, but I can just tell the listeners, what kind of car does a sheep drive? And of course the answer is a Lamborghini. So thank you for joining us. Stay tuned.
We did good. I wanted to be all loosened up. I thought that was good. We were
Great.
more like ourselves.
Great. Talking about arguing in books. We love it. Forgiveness. Join us next time on the Seth and Beth podcast where we talk about life,
We love
love,
Hamilton.
life, love, and Hamilton. Thanks, Beth. Love you.
Peace out, homie. Love you,
bye.
honey. Bye.